How do, folks? How you doing? Just a quick one. I thought we'd have a chat. Probably about time again. I thought we'd talk about the parasites and the theatrics. Now, I've not joined into the theatrics of the head of state supposedly dying. They finally tell us she's dead. It's what can you say? Sad for the family if they're not all just a bunch of actors. But anyway, I believe she's been gone an awful long time, and the timing is significant. But it is what it is. The theatre plays on. It always will. But it does have some serious implications, especially to me and to others out there as well that are serving documents and such like. Now, I know there's a few people that are actually in the middle of the process of evidencing the status with me, and it obviously affects those. You've got the first round of paperwork that's gone off, one of them to the Queen, and now there's a second round that's got to go off that can't obviously go to the Queen. So there's got to be some changes. So I warn folks out there that are serving documents on them to keep this in mind. As well as that, a lot of the law that we use mentions the Queen. When you think of Aylesbury's law stating that administrative courts are unlawful due to the constraints placed on Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II at the time of her coronation. Kind of a moot point at the minute, isn't it? Although yes, it can still be used, but it needs to be altered because you've got to incorporate the new king, the new chief puppet, chief parasite. But it is what it is. Just keep this in mind. You have to bear this in mind, because a lot of people will make a lot of mistakes right now. I know when positions change in government, I've been caught out before, and many others I've spoke to have, where a position's changed in the government and you've served the old man or woman in that position. Now obviously the government's changed as well. We've got a new puppet there. So also be aware of who you serve in there. Now, as far as I'm concerned with the government, everything's officer incumbent, so it doesn't matter if they change. But you've still got to pay attention. Many folks don't serve officer incumbent. So just be very, very careful of that. There's lots coming, there's lots going on, lots are changing, lots. And we've got to keep with the times at the minute, especially with the way it's going. I believe there's going to be some changes coming fast and furious over the next few months. Much will change. They will hit us in many ways. We've got to be aware and we've got to be ready for that shit. I would say don't fall for any of the theatrics, any of the puppetry, whatever they're up to. Don't fall for it. Just know your truth, know what you've got to do, and keep ploughing on with that. Don't let others distract you. Don't let what's going on distract you. If you're learning some shit, just keep learning some shit. But like I say, just be aware that a lot of what we use does actually mention the Queen, and we have no longer got a Queen. So there you go. There's that. Also, somebody asked me to cover fee schedules. So I'll just have a quick rattle on, because fee schedules differ. Many folks have asked me over the time for a template to fee schedules, but the reality is I've always written a fee schedule specifically for the circumstances, and they're very, very easy to write. It's just what you decide is what you want to claim for your services, for your performance, should I say. Now, yeah, I've got various levels of fee schedules. You've got the ones that are just telling people like debt collectors to piss off. Them generally I put really ridiculously high fees on things, because I'm not really having any intentions of taking them to court and claiming the fee schedule. That might sound a bit daft to a lot of people, but over the years I found it really successful to create these massive fee schedules that went into the hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions to ridiculous numbers, because I was telling them to piss off basically. And like I say, I was very successful over very many years doing that. But then you've got the realistic fee schedules, which you think maybe that you will actually claim one day. You may end up in court over, and you may want to claim those fee schedules. So then you've got to keep it realistic, because depending on what fees you want to charge is depending on the fee you're going to have to pay to take that into court. If you're bringing a Part 7 claim, an N1, which the price does go up with what you're claiming. So you have to be aware, because you don't want to end up spending 10 grand to bring a claim. So like I say, horses for courses, you've got different circumstances. I've got instances where I've claimed £500 for receiving a letter, £500 for sending a letter, or notice should I say. I've had times when I've put £50 for receiving and sending. I've also got times when I've claimed £1 million for my performance, attending and performing. I've also got examples where I've put £1,000, where I think possibly I may be going into court at a later date with something. So you line it up at a realistic figure, so you don't end up getting stung with a ridiculous fee. You have to be aware of this again. You have to be aware of lots of stuff at the minute, don't you? But the reality is, it's a really important point with fee schedules. I won't worry about it so much, but like I say, if you are planning to take something into court at some stage, you want to keep it at a realistic number. You don't want to hit some ridiculously high number and then find out that they've called you bluff and you can't take that into court. So yeah, that's something to take into consideration. But like I say, debt collectors and such like, I've had a lot of success in hitting them with absolutely ridiculous accumulative. The fee schedule runs into the millions by the time it's done. But like I say, you're telling them to piss off. You're not telling them you want anything to do with them. You certainly don't want to be bringing that into a claim. So yeah, fee schedules, they're quite simple really. They don't need anything particular. Just at the end of your notice, a page of its own, fee schedule headed, or schedule of fees, and then list down your schedule of fees, whatever you want to claim for. Attending and performance, as I do there, opening letters, reading letters, having a claim brought against you, you the man or woman, expecting you to stand as trustee, that's worth a few million. so on and so forth. So that's something again. But in all honesty, this one was just a quick one to remind those that are writing notices that there's an awful lot of changes going on, and now especially is a time when people can fuck up and serve the wrong man or woman. Very easy to do. I know it's a bit more prominent at the minute because the government's just changed, technically. So the puppetry has just changed its actors. But the reality is, it's really easy to serve somebody you know in your head without looking at who the new one in that position is. And be aware, positions have changed. Or the puppets have changed in those positions. So yeah, it's something to take heed of. Have a check on Google if you have to, just who's the new ones in those positions that you're serving, and make sure you're serving the right people, because yeah, it's a bit of a shitter when you serve the wrong people. Done it myself. You feel a bit of a plonker, but you got to redo your work as well. But redoing work, lots of work to be redone at the minute. All of the evidence in the status from here on in has to be changed, so that's massive work to be undertook, to change everything up, to make sure everything's relevant to the king now. Like I say, really easy to keep serving some of them. I don't think anybody's really going to make the mistake of serving the Queen still, but you still do have to be aware that, especially if you're using templates that have been put out there, there's an awful lot of templates out there that quote the Queen or the Queen ship, things relevant only to the Queen, not relevant to big ears. So just be aware, be aware, be aware. How many be awares have I come out with today? So yeah, basically that's about it. It's not a bit of a rant today, it's a bit of just a warning. Like I say, lots and lots of people serving lots and lots of people, and just want to keep everybody's head straight and in the game. Like I say, you don't want to be serving the wrong people. It's an absolute waste of time. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to call it a day and enjoy the rest of my drive. Have a good one, folks. Ta-da.